Hey guys, I'm Bella with ARC El Paso, and I'm here with Daniela Labinoti. She's a lawyer right here in El Paso, and she's going to give us some legal advice. So, a counter lawsuit. Why would someone sue someone that's suing them, I know it's a mouthful, instead of just bringing their own evidence to that lawsuit and getting it dismissed?
Well, that's a good question. We see this actually quite often. Now, the person who files the lawsuit is the first person who says, I've been harmed, I deserve compensation. Now, they can sue another person. The other person not only files a denial and says, bring in the evidence that I owe you money, but they can file what it's called a counterclaim or countersuit and say, not only I didn't do anything wrong, but you harmed me and you owe me money, and now you have to pay for all my damages and injuries. So that actually happens quite often, especially I have seen it when there are several crashes, like an accident that involves, chain reaction. So vehicle number 2 might say, no, it's the fault of the vehicle in front, or the vehicle that hit me was speeding. So they start not only suing each other, but countersuing each other, because they believe that the person who sued them actually not only they don't owe that person, but they believe they were harmed by the very same person that sued them.
And how do the courts, how do they figure out who's right when it's kind of he said, she said of who's at fault here?
And that's a good question. Evidence and also credibility. Okay. So who is more credible? And then we look at everything else, like the evidence, independent witnesses. So for us lawyers, we have to take depositions of every person involved, independent witnesses, police officers, the pictures, how the evidence looks at the scene. So it's a lot of work. So that's why it involves lawyers, and then lawyers present the evidence, and ultimately the jury decides.
And what happens if there isn't that much evidence gathered there at the scene and you're relying kind of on witness testimony there?
Well, lawyer skill, because there is what it's called cross-examination, and we depose witnesses, and who does a better job of telling the story, and who do we then think the jury is going to believe, who is telling the truth. And the jury, that's what they do. They determine credibility. Who do they like the most? Who do they think is telling the truth? And who do they think it's not?
Awesome. Well, you heard it here. Get your story straight if you are in a crash. We ask Daniela these questions every week, so if you want to tune in next week, you could hear what else we've asked her. ARC El Paso will be right back after the break.